Hello everyone, this is Sandip Dev and welcome to Illustrator. This is the second video of the trap tutorial series, and in the previous video we have seen how to create this geometry, this mathematical model from the auto trap, and we have assigned some basic loadings also. In the second video we'll see how to assign the self weight of these elements like the beams, the columns, the slabs, and how to assign wind load in this particular structure. So to assign the loads on this structure, the self weight, we have to go to this load tab. And if you see the existing loads, here we have some dead load and live load, two cases that we have assigned from our auto strap. For the self weight, what we will do, we'll create a different load case called SW, which is my self weight, and click on OK. And after that, now I'll go to my, see here, this is my main model, and here I have my sub models. Okay, this drawing 1 to 4, see, I remember in auto strap I have selected two different DXF files. One DXF file is from the ground floor to the fourth floor, and the last one is for the terrace. So I'll be selecting this drawing 1, which is my the plinth level, or you can say the first floor, So here, first of all, I will assign the element self weights, means my slabs self weights. So I have selected this element loads, go to define, and here you will be having one option called self weight. Let me click on self weight. Obviously the direction in which the self weight is going to act is the global x3, which is my vertical direction, and the self weight factor will be -1 because we want this load to act in the downward direction. And all the sub models which are the instance of this particular drawing, means from the first floor to fourth floor. Okay, so all these sub models will be assigned to this particular load, this particular self weight. So if I click on OK, and I'll be selecting this one, select by window, and I'll select this, the whole structure. And if I change it to main model, you can see from the first floor to fourth floor it is assigned with the same self weight value. Okay, to now to change the, or to assign the self weight of the terrace level, I have to go to the fifth drawing, as I have selected a different drawing for the terrace level, and again same element load, and go to define self weight, the global x -1. Okay, it will be asking you to select, so select by window and select the whole model. So you can see here, if I go to the main model, and this is my value. Okay, this is my self weight for the elements. Now I want the self weight of the beams, so go to the beam loads again. Let me go to the drawing 1 again. See, this total load is assigning under the self weight load case. Okay, so because we see there is a option called AND load case, we haven't choose this option till now, so we are inside the self weight load case. So now we have to select this beam loads. I have selected the submodel drawing 1, go to define. Again we have the option for self weight, so you can click on self weight, and let me select, or you can click on this one, select all beams. Obviously we want self weight to be added for all the beams, so click on this one, select all beams, and obviously this direction will be x3 and it will be -1. See, don't forget to click this option, which is all submodel instances. Means if you assign this self weight to this particular drawing or particular plan, this drawing is assigned or associated to all other floors, or other four up to fourth floor. Okay, so this same load will be assigned there also. So click on and if you go to the main model again, you can see the self weight for the beams I assigned up to the fourth floor. So again I have to go to the drawing 5 for the terrace floor, beam loads, define, it will be self weight, define self weight and all beams. Click on end. See, here I didn't get that option for all instances because this drawing is assigned to only this particular level, so there is no such option here. So click on and here we have the self weight for all the beams and uh, columns and slabs. Okay, now what we have to do, we have assigned the self weights. Now see there, if I go to the geometry again and if I go to the plan view, see there we have some beams where we have to assign the releases actually, because these beams are not connected to any column or any support. So to provide the releases, what we have to do, we have to go to the drawing 1, again the submodel, and let me go to the plan view, x1 x2 plane, and if you go to this beam option here, you have one option called releases. So I will be releasing the M2 and M3 moment, and it will be not at the both end. I want this release to be on the direction where I will be selecting here. So selected beam end, whichever end I will be selecting, at this end the release will be assigned. So click on OK. So now you can see I want here and here. Okay, and for also for these two beams here and here. Now click on, if you double click, you can see here I have provided releases here. See there is a circle which is telling you that we have assigned the releases here. Okay, now again for the drawing 2, let me go to the drawing 2, means the second drawing, and let me go to the releases, M2 M3 selected beam end. Okay, let me zoom it. I want at this point and this point, here and here, and double click. So I have assigned the releases also. Now you can go to the main model, and this is my isometric view. Okay, so let me go to the loads tab again. We have assigned the self weight. If you go to the, sorry, let me close it. And now what we have to do, we have to click on and load case. So here, if you go to the load list, let me go to the existing loads, and here you have the loads actually. See here we have the live loads. Here we have the dead loads that we have assigned. The SIDL loads means superimposed dead loads. And here I have the self weight for all the elements. Fine. So now let me show you how to define wind load. Now to define wind load will be in the load uh, tab only, and here you have the option called wind load. Click on wind load, and here the first option is define a new wind load case. Obviously we'll be defining a new wind load case. Click on define new wind load case. The height direction it is asking. Obviously for our structure you can see this coordinate for height. The height direction is x3, so I have selected x3. Now the panel where the wind load is going to act, it will be user defined, means I am going to define the panel where the wind load should act. So I have selected this one, user defined panel. Okay, and I want this loads to be acted on the joints, not on the beams. Okay, on the joints. So I have selected this joints. It is totally your wish. If you want to act if you want this wind load to be acted on the beams, you can select on beams also. So I have selected joints. Click on OK. Now let's write the name as WX1. Okay, I want this direction to be x1, and click on OK. Now it is asking you to create the first panel. So yeah, so I have started from this panel, from this point. See this particular point, and here I have this particular point. And again you have to come back to this point, and your panel 1 is completed. So I'll be naming it as panel 1 and click on OK. Now in this panel 1, This is my windward direction. I hope all of you guys are aware of windward and leeward direction. If you want to know more about it, I'll make a different video for that. So this is my windward direction. So let me select the height axis as x3. The terrain category may be category 2. It is as per IS 875 part 3. And building class, let me select the building class as class 3 now. And okay, K3, K4 factors 1. The wind velocity as 55 meter per second. And this CP value, I'm going to give that external pressure coefficient. For this, it will be 0.7 for windward direction. And see, the direction will be my positive x. So plus x and click on OK. Now it is asking whether you want to define another panel or not. Yes, I want to define another panel under this load case for the leeward direction. So define another panel and I want this directions, this one, this one, this one and this one. See, I have to select this particular point which joint it is actually. Okay. Now the I'll be keeping the name as panel 2. Click on OK. And same values will be same. Just I have to change this CP value as 0.4. This CP you will be having in IS 875 part 3, table number 5. You will get the external pressure coefficient here. And the direction will be obviously plus x, x1 and click on OK. So I do not want to define any other panel now. So click on and wind load case no. So if you see in the existing load case, I have defined wind x1 load. Again, if I want to define the wind load for x2 direction, so click on again wind load, define wind load case. It will be x3. I want to apply the loads on the joints. So joints, okay. So it will be wind x2. Click on OK. See here again you have to define the panel. Be careful while defining the panel. So again I'll give a name as panel 3 because I have already named panel 1 and 2 for the different direction. So it is panel 3 and click on OK. All the values will be same. What I have to change is the CP value. Now this is my windward direction for x2. So it will be 0.8 and I have to change the direction to plus x2. Okay, and plus click on OK. And I want to define another panel for the leeward direction. So another panel, this one, sorry, escape actually. Let me select this one and the last one here. Okay, and again go back to the first point. So let me give the name as panel 4 and click on OK. Now the CP value will be 0.1. Direction will be obviously positive x2. Click on OK. I do not want any other panel and no. So we have defined the wind load, the dead load, live load and its self weight also. Now if you want to see whether these load cases are whatever I have defined, whether it is okay or not, let me solve the building, means analyze the building. So here you have the solve option. Solve it. It will take some time to solve the equations, or you can say the analysis. Okay, so the analysis is done. So now I'll be going to draw results. Display type, I'll go to displacements just to check whether my assignment is okay or not. Displacements, and first of all I'll go with wx1. I'll be changing this result line type as dashed and the geometry will be in solid line and click on OK. So here you can see, let me go to the x3 x2 plane, sorry, x1 x2 plane. So this is my top view and you can see it is in the direction of x1. If you see here, see this coordinate, this is the direction of x1. Now let me change it to x2 x3 and let me change this value as wx2. Okay, Is there any change? WX2 actually, yeah. So this is the change you can see in the WX2. Let me go to the isometric view, and here is the displacement due to this WX2, means the wind load in the direction of X2. So let's see the vertical direction also. Only the dead loads. Okay, this is the deflection value or deflection result. You can see the live loads. Okay, it is showing in all direction. I do not want in the all direction, and I want to show the value in the particular x3 direction. So this is the live load. This is how you can see the deflected shape and the value also. Displacement in meter it is showing you, and here the displacement due to the self weight. Okay, so this is how we can see, or we can assign the self weight of the building, we can assign the wind load of the building. So in our next video I'll explain how to define the earthquake load, or you can see the seismic load on the building, and how we can analyze the seismic load and how to interpret the results properly. So thank you, and if you like this video, please give a thumbs up, and if you are new in my channel, please subscribe this channel for getting new updates, because I used to post videos like that, tutorials on structural engineering softwares, and frequently. So to learn the softwares, you can subscribe my channel. You can press the bell icon also, so that you can get the notification while I'll be uploading new videos. Thank you, and see you in the next video.